So I wanted to show you the results of my plant competition experiment that we set up before half term. So you can see that I put 12 seeds in one side, these are pea seeds, and on the other pot I put in 2 seeds. So I put in 2 just in case one of them failed to germinate. And they're in the same size pot with the same amount of compost, and I watered them the same amount. And remember, this is an experiment to try and investigate the factors that plants compete for. So we said that they compete for water, minerals, space and light. So if we take a look at the results from my experiment, so this was taken about 3 weeks later. The results are absolutely not what I expected to happen. So here is the germination from the 2 seeds in the pot. So we got 1 successful germination, and even that one's not looking very special. Whereas the ones that were competing, the 12 seeds, of which looks like about 7 have germinated, they're all growing really well despite the fact that they're competing for each other. Now perhaps I needed to leave them for a longer length of time to see if maybe this one would actually catch up and then overtake the others because it's got more space, light, minerals and water. But I'm not sure that is the case. Maybe it's just not too much difference between those individual seeds in the success of their germination. So I thought I would show you an experiment that I'd done before that was more successful. So this is an investigation I did with some sunflower seeds. So we looked at the successful germination similar to the pea experiment, but this time we had 4 pots and we had a different number of sunflower seeds in each pot. So we controlled the amount of light and water and soil and minerals in the soil, so we could control those variables. We were looking at the number of seeds per pot, so that was our independent variable, and at the end of the experiment we measured the growth rate or the growth height of the seedlings in each pot. So here's the results. So even though we were supposed to have 2, 4, 6 and 8 seeds per pot, it turned out that we had quite a radically different number of seeds. So the class that I had to plant these seeds obviously weren't very good at counting. However, what we decided to do then was to work out the total height of the seedlings. So that's the height added together of each seedling that grew. So we've got the total height and we divided it by the number of seedlings that had grown. So that gave us a mean height for each treatment pot. Okay, so once we plotted those data, we actually got quite a nice trend, particularly in the 4, 6 to 8 seedlings per pot, where you can see the average height went down as the number of seedlings per pot increased. So this, we might suggest, was because the seedlings were competing for particularly water and minerals as they germinate, and then later on they would be competing for space and light once the seedlings have grown above the soil. So I just wanted to share that with you as results from the plant competition experiment. If you've got any photos from the experiment that you set up, do please share them on Teams and we can have a talk about them.